I would request the team to take it further, to take the program ahead. We are live on Facebook. Aditya sir, kindly make me host so that.
Unmute Rashmi. Rachna, unmute Rashmi.
Ma'am, Rashmi ma'am has been given co-host permission since long. I think she logged out by, yeah.
Yes, by mistake.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so yes.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. A very good evening. I, Miss Rashmi Gupta, along with my co-host, Miss Vaibhavi, welcome you all back to this Global Educators Fraternity. As we start our event with some more insights and intellects, let's have the curtain raised for this grand day. Today is day 2 of our GEF. A heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries present here for your precious time and presence. Ladies and gentlemen, it's truly said that light and brightness has always been equated with positivity. To start this event with an auspicious note, we will now have the lamp lighting ceremony. May I request the core members of GEF and dignitaries to do the honors virtually.
That was blissfully divine. It's my great honor to introduce someone dynamic, enthusiastic, dedicated, and a focused professional. Yes, that outstanding personality is none other than Miss Rachna Bhimrajka. She is in the field of education for more than a decade. A true educationist, deputy coordinator for SARC Regional Committee, and a core member of GEF. It simply seems great to be associated with you, ma'am. May I kindly request you, madam, to welcome our luminaries for the evening.
Namaste from India. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to one and all present here. Today, a galaxy of global dignitaries have joined us to deliberate, discuss, and devise a blueprint for charting out the vision of global educators fraternity. Not taking much time, on day 2 of the grand launch and educational conclave of Global Educators Fraternity, I, Rachna, on behalf of the entire team of GEF, extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed Sir from Maldives, all the keynote speakers, panelists, and other distinguished guests, and the august gathering present here. I may not be able to address you individually here, but a warm welcome to each one of you from each and every member of Global Educators Fraternity. Now, I would like to take the honor of introducing our chief guest today. Dr. Abdullah Rashid sir is an enthusiastic educationist with 30 years of experience. Spotlight. Dr. Abdullah Rashid sir is an educationist with 30 years of experience in the field of education. He is currently working as a Minister of State for Education, Maldives. Before this, he was the Vice Rector of Avid College, Maldives. He also served as a principal of government school for 18 years. He did a school management diploma from NIE Sri Lanka, Bachelor of Commerce major in accounting and HRM from University of Tasmania, Masters of Educational Leadership from Nottingham University, and Doctor of Philosophy in Instructional Leadership from Asia University, Malaysia. As an achievement-oriented person, he was also awarded as Academic Excellence Award for Binary University, Malaysia. He was also awarded the Dean's Role of Excellence for University of Tasmania. Sir, we would like to welcome you with a virtual floral bouquet. Now, sir, on behalf of Global Educators Fraternity team, we would like to invite you to have some motivational words for us.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rachna and your team, and all the dignitaries, keynote speakers, everyone present here. Assalamu alaikum, very good morning, good afternoon, and very good evening. It's really a pleasure to be part of this important event. And yesterday, I have seen some of the activities and the questions and answers. It was very interactive, very good. And today again, from the agenda, I have seen that excellent keynote speakers from different parts of the world. They come and present their perspectives in different educational issues that will enrich all of us. So this is a very, very good event yesterday and today you are doing. So thank you so much for you and your team for organizing this event so well. There are a lot of things we should consider within the educational sector. One important thing, let's think about ethical issues in education. I think ethical issues in education is an issue. It's a universal issue. Everywhere there are problems. If I take one unethical issues in education, there are some people who are doing business in unethical business, like making assignments, making dissertations for university and college students for money, which is very wrong, which is totally wrong. Education is something very noble. It shouldn't be involved this type of things. Some people, they advertise that they are making dissertations, they are making assignments, excellent assignments, they advertise. It's really a shame. We educators, we should not encourage this type of things. Even the university students should not utilize this type of opportunities. Suppose somebody purchase an assignment or a dissertation from somewhere and you got a distinction. My question is, would you really be happy? Would you really be proud of your achievement? Definitely no. But if you work hard with your hard work, with your dedication, even if you got a merit, you would be proud of it. Therefore, we should discourage this type of unethical things within the educational context. And there are other issues. We educators, when we are teaching, when we are grading, when we are marking, we should ask ourselves, are we doing this right? Are we grading the students without any discrimination? uh, Although I'm in a political post as from the introduction we have heard, as a Minister of State for Education, I still teach. I teach master students, master of education students, master of business administration students, and I mark students' papers. While marking, always there is a question in my mind: am I doing this fairly? Am I grading everyone fairly? So if we discriminate, again, this is an unethical issue. So there are so many such things. And another thing is academic writing. Academic writing should, we have to follow proper academic referencing. If we take any idea or information or any knowledge from someone else, we should always give credit to the person. But we can see, since information is very easily accessible, we can borrow the things from other people and we can assume that it's ours, but this is also unethical. Therefore, as we are promoting education everywhere, we should try to minimize the misconduct. We should prevent unethical issues within the education. Then only education will be beneficial to those students. As I mentioned before, if students graduate by cheating, by purchasing as a business, then one day that person with a MBA or with a degree would hold a post in a large company. Can you imagine how would the person manage the business, run the business? Therefore, if we really prepare the school graduates, university graduates for the labor market or as entrepreneurs, they should be truly educated, as we are in a globalized world and the whole world is trying to implement industrial revolution 4.0. And also we are, every country is trying to implement the concept of knowledge economy, human capital, human development. Its true sense, it is very important. That what I mean by true sense, I'm sure you all know, we all as educators. So as lecturers, as teachers, or the management of colleges and universities, we have to think about all these. And I call upon the people who are doing this type of unethical business. When are you going to stop this? And by getting money, by doing unethical business, again, you have to ask yourself, are you really happy by receiving money for this type of unethical business? I'm not going to take much time, but before conclusion, once again, let me thank you all, Ratna and the team. And I can see some of my friends like Dr. Pramod and other known faces, and Luis Cardoso, and great educators. So it's really important that we all come together and discuss this type of things. So I wish all the success for this event. Once again, thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Firstly, thank you so much for appreciating GEF. It really means a lot. You have truly inspired us all by being a living example of kindness and knowledge. You have given your best by sharing your expertise and knowledge in every way possible. We would like to present a token of appreciation for your valuable time and presence.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead with the event, I take great privilege to put across to all the viewers about the vital aspects of this grand platform GEF, Global Educators Fraternity. So basic So, so we're going to discuss about what is GEF, its aims, vision, mission, and aspirations. What is Global Educators Fraternity, GEF? GEF is an association that hankers to build global citizens around the globe to spread awareness in various aspects to make a better quality life, where the like minded people have joined hand in hand under one roof, which adheres to cater to the current issues in the education fraternity at a global level and create responsible and responsive citizens. The aims. What are the aims for GEF? Aim of GEF is to mentor best practices and upgrade already established practices to serve the community and meet the societal needs. It aspires to promote education through various domains of learning such as cognitive and social emotional skills. Vision. The vision is to acquire skills and knowledge to promote sustainable development goals and to provide a network for expanding the spirit of creativity, innovations, and to prepare the young generations with great values globally to make this world a better place. Mission. So, the mission for GEF is to nurture the global learners with introspection and adjurations with the guidance of the experts, to bring a revolution in the education fraternity, to achieve a long term sagacious transformation on how citizens think and act, to develop the key competencies needed in all the facets. Moving on to the next thing, that's the upcoming aspirations. Webinars and workshops for the betterment of learners and society at large, to enhance the personal traits and professional skills of the citizens globally, to broaden the horizons of knowledge to underprivileged learners in less progressive zones, to create awareness programs about health and hygiene, seminars on vocational and career counseling, and much, much more. Thank you. I hope that all the viewers have a clear gist about this marvelous platform. Now, we have amongst us a gracious student of Panbai International School, Anvesha Bapna, someone who has presented great ethics in form of a beautiful dance. To give due respect to the pillars of the education fraternity, the gurus, the educators.
Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. खुशियाँ हैं बाहें फैलाई, आशाओं के बादल छाए, कोई उमंग है ये जिंदगी रे।
एक धरती का आंचल ओढ़े, दिल से दिल के धागे जोड़े, बांटे जहां में अपनी खुशी रे।
प्रीत की रीत सिखाते हुए झिलमिलाते हैं पर्दों पे हम,
दिलों में प्यार की ज्योति जगाते हुए आ जाओ मिलके हम तुम ये कहे। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री
That was mind blowing, truly an amazing way to pay tribute and respect to the teachers, the educators. Let's march to an interesting lateral of the event, the speech by our keynote speakers. To begin with, we have amongst us Dr. Luis Cardoso Sor from Portugal. Dr. Luis Sor holds a PhD in modern languages and literature. He was the Dean of the School of Education and Social Sciences and Deputy Director of the Master in Media and Society. Adjunct Professor at the Department of Language and Communication Sciences at Portugal. He's a Professor of Higher Education since 1995. He's a researcher at the Center for Comparative Studies at the University of Lisbon. It's our privilege to have you amongst us, sir. The platform is all yours.
Good afternoon from Portugal. Greetings. I would like to thank the GEF team for inviting me for this extraordinary occasion. It's wonderful to be here, and I wish Global Educators Fraternity a long life and an enlightened path towards education, knowledge for our students, for our countries, and for our common goals in education. I would also like to present a special vote of thanks to Dr. Abdullah Rashid. And of course, I would like to address all the eminent speakers here today and all the participants as well. So, my dear colleagues and my dear friends, I would like to share with you some ideas about ethical issues in education. And as Dr. Abdullah Rashid has already said, this is a very important topic. It is a topic that is important for all of our countries. It is important for all of our universities, our polytechnics, our schools, our principals, our teachers, our fellow colleagues and researchers, and is absolutely vital for our students. So first of all, I would like to share some insights that are brought to us by the International Association for Education in Ethics. And according with this association, ethical challenges exist in all domains of scientific inquiry. So, of course, this means that we are all connected by this ethic issue. So, for future professionals and practitioners, learning how to cope with such challenges underlines the relevancy of teaching ethics. And teaching ethics is, of course, another issue that connects universities, secondary schools, and other levels in our educational system. This is especially important to the university level, as I said, as students will develop from learners into professionals in their specialized areas of study. So ethics teaching has a special significance at the global level, since it will address a variety of different perspectives, providing new insights into ethics from various cultural experiences from around the world. So let us take a look at some key words and key thoughts. Let's think a little bit about responsibility, about universities' responsibility, about teachers' responsibility, about honesty, as Dr. Abdullah Rashid was saying. So what is right, what is wrong? This means that we all need a compass for ethics. And this compass must be common to all of us. So let's see if we can understand some of the key ethical competencies that we need. So we need to work knowledge, attitudes, and skills. First of all, with professional rules approach, linking to transmission of moral principles and social norms, moral virtues approach, leading to inculcation of desirable moral behaviors, and ethical skills approach, leading to promotion of moral reasoning abilities. Of course, this is a global scheme that must be understood inside each country, and of course, according to each and one of us, and according to our students, according to our communities. All of this takes us to the e-learning network that provides us some highlights that are very important that I would like to share with you all. So ethics are standards set for you to recognize your actions as right or wrong. It helps categorize discipline, honesty, and integrity in our actions performed during the day. Ethics in education helps run the system smoothly. It sets standards that are applicable to protect the interests of both the learning and tutor. Teachers are responsible to help develop the personality of students and act as a mentor to them to influence their personal development and behavior. And of course, let us not forget that each student requires different levels of attention and guidelines. Also, according with this network, let us recall the words of Weinstein. There are 5 basic principles of ethics. First of all, do not harm. So try not to hurt others with your actions. Second, make things better. In helping people and knowing the difference between helping and, of course, hurting, acting as a community wherever you stand. Number 3, respect others. Respect differences. Be tolerant. Always speak the truth and keep your promises. Be fair. Keep a balance on your emotions. Do not punish people unnecessarily. And be loving, my dear colleagues and friends. Compassion for others. Show that you care. And with this COVID-19 crisis, this is most important. We must show our students that we care. So let's also think that these values may be defined differently in parts of the world, but are cross-cultural. Second, education as a field revolves around laws and procedures of always doing the right thing, and this is common to all countries. Ethical guidelines are important to assist professionals and cope with the changing environment to feel empowered while regulating themselves to suit the standards of their profession. Our world is always changing, my friends, but we must consider that true principles and true values must be maintained at all costs in order to have good institutions, good universities, good schools, good teachers, and good students. So let's think that educators can be confronted with various ethical issues. Some situations between a teacher and a student which may cross ethical boundaries are, first, teachers are expected to contribute towards students' learning as well as their society issues outside the classroom, which may bring them to a comfortable and closer relationship. Teachers not only deliver knowledge, but interact and help learners achieve the level of knowledge required, whether it exceeds time or not. So let us believe that maybe the appropriate question is not whether ethics can be taught, but whether ethics can be learned. And considering any personal experiences, I would say the answer is yes. And I also believe that the answer is yes. So, my friends, structural changes are important to consider. structural changes in all of our countries. Teachers should receive training on ethics and preparation programs involving ethical issues with mentors. They contribute to the professional development of teachers and help revisit principles of professional ethics while applying them to their classrooms. And of course, schools increasingly recognize the need for fostering ethics, character, and citizenship, and aim to develop empathy, compassion, mindfulness, purposefulness, responsibility, collaboration, and self-regulation. So this is why conferences like this one are very important to bring together different points of view, to share knowledge, to share insights, and to discover ways to work together, to lead our students to a better future with values and principles. Let's work together. This is a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was truly enriching. Before we move on to the next speaker, I request all the speakers to kindly adhere to the timeline for a smooth flow of event. Requesting speakers to adhere to the 5 minutes timeline. Now, let's put our hands together for a prominent personality, Dr. Kulbhushan Sharma sir. He is the president of National Independent Schools Association, a National Federation of State Association of Budget Private Schools in India. He is also the president of Federation of Private Schools Associations Haryana, and the list just goes on. May I request you, sir, to enlighten us with your thoughts?
थैंक यू बेबी। सबसे पहले मैं निशा नमस्कार करूंगा सभी एजुकेटर्स को और स्पेशली डॉक्टर अब्दुल्ला रशीद जो आज के हमारे इस कॉन्क्लेव के चीफ गेस्ट हैं, और मैं धन्यवाद करूंगा ग्लोबल एजुकेटर फ्रेटर्निटी को भी तो उन्होंने मुझे समय दिया, और रचना भीमराजिका जी को, प्रतिभा मिश्रा जी को और प्रमोद महाजन जी को भी जिनको मैं देख रहा हूँ। तो आज का बहुत हमारे इससे पहले जो डॉक्टर अब्दुल्ला राशिद ने और मिस्टर लुइस ने बहुत अच्छा एथिकल इश्यूज पे जो है बात की, और एजुकेशन में एथिक्स की इम्पोर्टेंस ही एथिक्स की अगर कहा जाए तो एजुकेशन ही एथिक्स है। अगर एथिक्स नहीं है तो एजुकेशन नहीं है। तो हिंदुस्तान में चाणक्य को सभी जानते हैं। चाणक्य ने ये कहा था कि जिस देश के शिक्षक के अंदर एथिक्स नहीं है और वो चाटुकारिता करता है, वो देश कभी भी तरक्की नहीं कर सकता। यदि एजुकेशन में हम अगर कल ब्लेम करें कि बच्चे अनएथिकल हो गए या अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस करते हैं, तो मेरा ये मानना है कि अगर टीचर्स के अंदर एथिक्स होंगे तो बच्चा एक बिल्कुल कच्चे घड़े के समान होता है। बच्चे को हम कभी भी ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते। बच्चे को हम जिस प्रकार की शेप देंगे बच्चा उसी प्रकार बनता है। तो ये सारा इम्पोर्टेंट अगर रोल है एथिक्स का, तो वो टीचर के अंदर अगर एथिक्स हैं, टीचर चाटुकार नहीं होना चाहिए, और गलत को गलत कहना टीचर की एक नेचर के अंदर शामिल होना चाहिए। हमारे उसमें पॉजिटिव इसको क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं कहेंगे, पॉजिटिव क्रिटिसिज्म जो है, अगर टीचर ने कहीं कहीं गलती है वो किसी भी लेवल पर है तो टीचर को बोलने की आदत होनी चाहिए। और ये आज के एजुकेशन में एक जो बहुत बड़ी गिरावट मैं कहूँगा एजुकेशन में आई, और हम लोग हिंदुस्तान की अगर बात कहें तो हमेशा बात करते हैं कि हम राम राज की बात करते हैं, हम तक्षशिला नालंदा की बात करते हैं। तो उस समय आपने देखा होगा कि शिक्षा, मैं अक्सर कहता हूँ, शिक्षक के हाथ में होती थी, और शिक्षक के अंदर इतने एथिक्स थे और उसका कैरेक्टर इतना मजबूत था कि राजा भी अपने राज्य को चलाने के लिए शिक्षक पर निर्भर था। शिक्षक से वो मंत्रणा करता था, शिक्षक से वो सलाह लेता था, उसी से वो अपना राज चलाता था, अपना व्यापार चलाता था। इवन युद्ध नीति भी वो शिक्षक से पूछकर बनाता था। और शिक्षक का कैरेक्टर, उसके एथिक्स इतने मजबूत थे। और उसी प्रकार से राष्ट्र भी मजबूत उस समय का बताया जाता है। और उसी प्रकार की एजुकेशन भी हिंदुस्तान की आज भी हमारी जो एनईपी पे एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बात की जा रही है, तो वो तक्षशिला नालंदा की बात की जाती है, अक्सर जो है रामराज की बात की जाती है। उस समय टीचर, शिक्षक जो है राष्ट्र गुरु कहलाता था, लेकिन धीरे धीरे बात आई और आज की स्थिति क्या है कि टीचर 50% राजगुरु में तब्दील हो गए। और जो टीचर्स हैं, आपने देखा होगा, अभी करंट एक एग्जांपल में अभी आपको बताता हूँ। मैं थोड़ी देर पहले अभी सीबीएसई में गया था, ऐतराज जताने के जो टेबुलेशन पॉलिसी आई, उससे आज आपने देखा बहुत सारे टीचर जो है प्रभावित हुए, टीचर्स पे ब्लेम लगे, और एक जो रिश्ता था स्टूडेंट्स का टीचर का, वो भी तार तार हुआ। लेकिन बहुत सारे टीचर्स ने इसका विरोध नहीं कर पाए और इस पे अपनी सजेशन नहीं दे पाए। सबने क्या कहा, मैक्सिमम टीचर्स ने क्या कहा, वेरी गुड पॉलिसी, वेरी गुड पॉलिसी, जबकि उस पॉलिसी में बहुत ज्यादा खामियां थी। तो एथिक्स पे कभी आई कि नहीं आई, आप बताइए? कहीं ना कहीं टीचर्स के एथिक्स पे कभी दिखी? तो बच्चों को, स्टूडेंट्स को मैं कहता हूँ, हम अगर एथिकल बनाना चाहते हैं, उनके अंदर एथिक वैल्यूज, मॉरल वैल्यूज, कोई भी वैल्यूज डालना चाहते हैं, तो सबसे पहले टीचर को बहुत स्ट्रांग होना पड़ेगा, निडर होना पड़ेगा। जब एक टीचर वही डिलीवर कर पाएगा जो उसके पास होगा। अगर टीचर के पास एथिक्स होंगे तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली एथिक्स जो है वो बच्चे में ट्रांसफर होंगे। अगर टीचर्स के अंदर एथिक्स नहीं होंगे तो वो बच्चों को एथिक्स ट्रांसफर नहीं होंगे, जो उसके पास नहीं होगा वो ट्रांसफर उस पर नहीं कर पाएगा। और एजुकेशन में ईमानदारी नहीं होगी तो उसके लिए हम नीसा के साथ, नीसा की तरफ से बहुत बड़ा, नीसा एक वर्ल्ड का सबसे बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो बजट प्राइवेट स्कूल्स को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, जो चाइल्ड सेंट्रिक पॉलिसी की बात करता है, जो टीचर सेफ्टी की, आज टीचर की सेफ्टी बहुत ज्यादा मिसिंग है पॉलिसीज में, उसकी बात करता है। लेकिन मैं टीचर्स को और एजुकेटर्स को देख रहा हूँ कि वो इन बातों को नहीं भूल पा रहे। कहीं ना कहीं एक बहुत ये मिसिंग हो रहा है, जिससे आने वाला समय जो हम कितना भी चाहेंगे कि बच्चों के अंदर हम सोचे कि हम एक जो डरा हुआ टीचर है वो किस प्रकार मॉरल वैल्यूज या एथिक्स बच्चों में ट्रांसफर कर पाएगा, कभी नहीं कर पाएगा। आप कुछ भी कह लीजिए, कितनी हम बातें कर ले, वो नहीं ट्रांसफर कर पाएगा। सबसे पहले टीचर की डिग्निटी लाए और टीचर स्ट्रांग हो। जब टीचर की डिग्निटी आएगी, टीचर को सेफ्टी मिलेगी, टीचर का कैरेक्टर जो है वो एथिक्स के मामले में स्ट्रांग होगा, तभी हम ये एथिक्स की जो बात है वो स्ट्रांगली बच्चों में ट्रांसफर कर पाएंगे। फिर ये ऑटोमेटिक किसी भी समस्या जो है आगे आपको जो है ये नजर नहीं आएगी। तो मैं सिर्फ इतनी बात करते हुए सभी वर्ल्ड के एजुकेटर्स को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ, स्पेशली द्वारा रचना हेमराजिका जी का, उनके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि उन्होंने मुझे ये वैल्यूबल टाइम दिया कि मैं अपनी छोटी सी बात जो है आपके बीच में इस इशू में रख सकूं। थैंक यू। जय हिंद, जय भारत सभी को। ग्रेट निशा, नमस्कार।
Thank you, sir. We are delighted to get this piece of knowledge from an inspiring intellect like you. I take this opportunity to now welcome our next speaker, Miss Edna Fernandez. She is an educator since last 17 years. Presently, the Vice Principal at Birla Public School, Doha, Qatar. Founder, head, and Vice Principal of the first Delhi Public School. She has been awarded the Brain Feed Best CBSE School Award for 2019-20. She is also a mentor for TEDx Choice School for 2 consecutive years. Authored 2 series of English readers for DC Books under Mango Publications. Miss Edna Fernandez, ma'am, Vice Principal of Birla Public School. And the list goes on. It's a great honor to have you amongst us, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mehta, for the lovely introduction. And a very good afternoon to everybody from Qatar, and good evening to all who are in India. To all my fellow key speakers and the participants, a warm welcome to all of you to this prestigious launch of GEF, a group of noble educators with a noble cause. So once again, thank you for having me on this platform. And since right now we had our 2 key speakers who spoke on the valuable ethic on education, I would like to keep the same topic very simple and very light using all my personal anecdotes and readings that I have had. So I very strongly feel that, the triangle of education or the school, wherein you have the teacher, the parent, and the student, all three of them play a very important role. And I would like to pick up each one of these aspects as far as ethics go. So if I have to say, ethics are morals which help you discern, as what Dr. Lewis said, between the right and the wrong. And I have an example which my principal used to always quote. So Dr. Sharma went once to, one of the inspections, and he saw one child who was sitting and writing. He was going on writing, I will not use abusive language. And he said, why are you sitting and writing like this? He had got a punishment and he was sitting and writing. So he said, why don't you write that I will use abusive language? And that student at once looked at sir and gave a look like, what is wrong with this man? What is he saying? And this gave Sir a thought, which I would like to put for all of you. The child was intelligent enough to know what to do. All we have to do is to channelize this energy positively towards the right direction. Even though most people believe that their actions are guided by logic, by reason, we all have an innate ethical sense that urges us and tells us very reasonably what are the very predictable choices that we are supposed to make. And that is exactly how ethics in education works, recognizing the real power in you, your innate ethical sense. And that is what is going to influence others' behavior as well. In this case, an example that I quoted to you now, it has rightfully been achieved by the child as well. Another concern that always comes across when we talk about ethics is the conduct. Conduct could be of teacher, student, anyone. So in my experience, if I have to tell you about a student, so I can vouch and tell you that the most notorious of kids even that I have come across, they actually fall in line if you give them very clear, very specific boundaries and clear expectations of what you expect from them. So that just removes out all the ethical boundaries that could have ever been. And that brings me to my next topic of expectations. And when I talk of expectations, I'm reminded of a joke. Okay, so a father told his son, so this time you have to score 90% for your examination. The child said, no, dad, I'm going to score 100%. So the dad looks at him and says, what, are you kidding? And the child comes back and said, your dad, you're the one who started all this. So this small joke, just tells us that we adults should talk very honestly and very realistically to our children. Remember that we need to treat them as young adults. So it is very important to, at every step in their lives, treat them as those young adults and help them develop an ethical sense of understanding between the good and the bad. So this leads me again to my next aspect of grading, as was said by the father and son, which I feel is one of the ethical issues in education today. I came across this poster which said about the ABCD of grades. It said A is for aspiring and achieving. I score a B because I did not study long or hard enough. I get a C when I'm very casual about my future. D when I don't believe, when I don't try, and the most important of all, when I don't care. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the bitter and sad reality of education today. A rhetorical question will be, is it ethically right? We need to teach our children and frame a system in such a way that grades don't matter, but how you use this knowledge that is given to them should matter even more. And I'm so glad that CBSE has changed its pattern of assessment this year and also introduced tools like Shuffle, which is going to help pave the way towards change. Again, coming to the next aspect is schools and environment, developing an environment of trust. And this environment of trust is between the teacher, the student, and the parent. So I happen to have one teacher who said during a meet and greet session, she just said it at a very lighter note, but it gives a very big volume message. And what her note went like this: if you promise that you won't believe everything that your child is going to say goes on at school, I promise you that I won't believe everything that your child says goes on back at home. So jokes apart, there's a very thin line over here between the student, the parent, and the teacher. And this relationship, as again what Dr. Lewis and Dr. Sharma also said, that should be respected. Respect is very important, and this should not be compromised at any cost. So parents should never discuss their teachers in front of their kids, and teachers should never discuss about a child or his or her family near anybody else. The child and the teacher, this relationship is the foundation of the society. And this is what is going to help us flourish. So let's all allow our students to make their set of mistakes. Come on, we all made our set of mistakes when we were young. So let's also allow them to trust themselves so that they can win over themselves and win your trust in the long run. And a simple message to all my fellow educators out there would be, the biggest ethic in our noble profession is the commitment to be lifelong learners. So let's cling on to this small word commitment and ethic, which is going to take us a long way in our educational journey. I would like to end with a famous story, which you all would have heard about Gandhiji eating sweets. Yeah. So that goes with, like, a mother came and complained to Gandhiji. Gandhiji, this child of mine, he eats a lot of sweets. And Gandhiji says, why don't you come after another week? And, when the child comes the next week, Gandhiji says, don't eat sweets. So mother wonders, why didn't Gandhiji say this at that point of time last week? And Gandhiji just responds, because I myself used to eat a lot of sweets. And this just tells us that we need to practice what we preach. So let's be doers in creating a new ethical tomorrow as one of the most important virtues in education. I would like to end with this quote that says, ethics education is about recognizing the real power of our own innate ethical sense and how it influences our behavior. So thank you, GEF, once again for this beautiful opportunity, and Jai Hind to all educators. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was truly inspiring and informative. I think so. We all are in this educators fraternity. The name itself says Global Educators Fraternity. A lot of intake, and I think so. We all are able to connect as to what are you trying to just hit the nail on. So as the generation keeps on changing, we also keep on changing as to adjust with the current generation of students. So thank you, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really inspiring. And to celebrate this event further, let's proceed ahead with some entertainment by watching an astonishing dance performance, a folk dance of Maharashtra by Akanksha Muralidharan, a student of Panba International School. Give a huge round of virtual applause to enjoy it further.
Namaste. Hello everyone. I, Akanksha Muralidharan from Panba International School, Mumbai, have got the colossal opportunity to perform the traditional Maharashtrian folk dance, Gondhal. Gondhal is one of the most important dances of the Maharashtrians. It is believed that the tradition of Gondhal began when Saint Parshuram sang and danced in the praise of goddess Tulja Bhavani. So now, with the blessings of Ma Tulja Bhavani, I would like to perform the Gondhal dance.
आई भवानी तुझ्या कृपेने तारसी भक्ताला, आई भवानी तुझ्या कृपेने तारसी भक्ताला, अगाध महिमा तुझी माऊली वारी संकटाला, अगाध महिमा तुझी माऊली वारी संकटाला. आई कृपा करी माझ्यावरी जागवी तो रात सारी, आई कृपा करी माझ्यावरी जागवी तो रात सारी. आज गोंधळ आला ये, गोंधळ मांडला भवानी, गोंधळ आला ये, गोंधळ मांडला घालून कवड्याची माळ पायात बांधिली चाळ हातात परडी तुला ग आवडी वाजवी तो संबळ धग धग त्या ज्वालेतून आली तूच जगन्माता भक्ती दाटून येते आई नाव तुझे घेता आई कृपा करी माझ्यावरी जागावी तो रात सारी आई कृपा करी माझ्यावरी जागावी तो रात सारी आज गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला भवानी गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला भवानी गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला भवानी गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला गंगे गोंधळाला ये आज चौक भरीला माणिक मोती मंडप आकाशाचा हात जोडून करुण भाकितो उद्धार कर गावाचा अधर्म निर्दाळून धर्म हा तूच रक्षिला महिषासुर मर्दिनी पुन्हा हा दैत्य इथे मातला आज आम्हावरी संकट भारी धावत ये लवकरी आज आम्हावरी संकट भारी धावत ये लवकरी आंबे गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला भवानी गोंधळाला ये गोंधळ मांडला गंबे गोंधळाला ये
शिवशक्ती धावगे शिवशक्ती धावगे शरणांना पावगे आधार जीवा संकटे हारशी सद्गतीत धावशी दिवस नवा तुझ्या पदराची छाया मध्ये जरा देवीचा हे आईचा भवानीचा देवीचा हे आईचा भवानीचा देवीचा हे आईचा भवानीचा
Wasn't it mind-blowing? If yes, can we have everyone unmute at a count of 3? At least those who are the co-hosts. If not, then you can have virtual claps on, please, and hear out the applause. On the count of 3. 3, 2, and 1.
Super.
Great.
Okay, moving ahead with the flow of event.
Fantastic.
We know one of the vital concerns of today in the field of education is the ethical issues in. And to discuss this further, let me take this grand opportunity to welcome the moderator, Mr. Pramod Mahajan, sir. Mr. Pramod Mahajan, sir, is one of the board of directors of Principals Council and core member and secretary of the Principals Executive Council of Sharjah Private Education Authority, Government of Sharjah. He has been conferred with several awards for his exemplary contributions in the education space. I extend my warm welcome to the moderator and the panelists for the day. Before I hand over the platform to you, sir, let me just present a small token of a small creative where I want to present all my moderators and the panelists together. Welcome you all. Over to you, sir, with all the panelists.
Thank you.
I would
Good
request
morning, good afternoon.
Sir, 1 second. I would request all the panelists to please on your video so that we can spotlight you. Yes, sir, Mahajan, sir, please carry on.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Salam alaikum. Namaste, namaskaram. This is Pramod Mahajan, your moderator for today's session. Our today's topic for the discussion is education for sustainability. Sustainability. That is nothing but transforming every day to create a better tomorrow. A better tomorrow for the future of tomorrow. A better tomorrow for empowering our young talents. A better tomorrow for enhancing the sustainable development as far as the academics is concerned, as far as the learning outcomes are concerned, as far as the job market is concerned, as far as the skill-oriented teaching learning process is concerned. So the question arises, this sustainable development will be ensured by whom and in what manner? And the answer comes to each and everyone's mind is education, education, and education. So ladies and gentlemen, let us start today's discussion. We have with us a very versatile and seasoned edu leaders from 6 different countries of the globe. I would like to request the panelists. So whenever I ask the question, the first round is question answer round. You have to limit yourself. Maximum 3 minutes will be appreciated if you finish within 2 minutes. And at the first question, you have to introduce yourself with your name, designation, name of the school, and country, please. Second round will be whatever answer you give, from that some questions will be picked out. And the third round will be rapid fire round. For the second round, the time limit is 1 minute and I mean it 60 seconds. And the third round is rapid fire round. For that, the time limit is 30 seconds to 40 seconds. So let us begin today's panel discussion on the topic education for sustainability. Tomorrow, transforming the everyday to create better tomorrow, ethical tomorrow, empowering tomorrow. Let me ask the first question to a very versatile lady and educationist, Dr. Seema Negi. Ma'am, is the disruption due to pandemic affecting the susceptibility, sustainability of job opportunities and skill developments of learners? If yes, in what manner?
Thank you, Dr.
Over
Mahajan.
to Dr. Seema Negi.
Thank you, Dr. Mahajan. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Seema Negi, Director Principal, Sanjeevani World School, Mumbai, India. Now, Dr. Mahajan, this question is very interesting, but is disruption something that we are facing for the first time? In 2017, McKinsey Global Institute discussed about technology jobs and future at work because they felt that automation and digital platform are disrupting everything. Then in the year 2018, UNESCO had a grand symposium wherein they discuss about managing skills in the time of disruption. So disruption, if we try to analyze the pace of change and the threat of disruption, creates tremendous opportunity. So are we able to see those opportunity is what is needed. So when we talk about this particular pandemic per se, it's not that we have not gone through the difficult time, but at the same time, do we really have to waste a good opportunity? Can't we work on mass reskilling and upskilling? That is what I think World Economic Forum discussed in October 2020. Now let's think of 4 examples quickly. Think of Alibaba, world's biggest retailer who does not have any goods or shops. Think of Uber, who does not have their own fleet. Think of Airbnb or Facebook. Wasn't that disruption? The only thing is when we merge disruption or we look at disruption from the point of innovation, we understand how important is it to reskill and upskill. At the same time, how important is it to change our thinking process. When we talk about disruption, thinking process straight away goes to negativity. When we think of disruption as challenge, innovations come. You go and research about disruption, bringing out the beautiful innovations. Internet is full of that. The only thing is change your mindset and change the way things are. Quickly, some more examples. Most of you know about Netflix. You have seen how Netflix has grown during the disruptive time, which we are talking about pandemic. Similarly, at the same time, Blockbuster, which was the biggest video retail shop, they did not convert themselves to the streaming videos. They did not adapt the technology, or they did not adapt the change. They went bankrupt. You take an example of Kotak, or you take an example of Borders, which is like the biggest book and music retailer. They did not go e-commerce way, and now they are at the disruption. So what we need to understand is, no, disruption is not going to stop innovation. Disruption is not going to stop sustainability. It's we, the human, it's our human power, it's our mind power, I should say, wherein we go into the gallows of negativity rather than seeing the positive aspect. And if we stay firm, stay positive, evolve education, because education cannot be static, it has to be dynamic. When it is dynamic, then only sustainability can take care of itself on its own. And as we are talking on ethical platform, it is very important that whether it's disruption or it's sustainability, the core value is, are you ethical? So I end with this question. We have to introspect maybe after this conference. Are we all ethical? If we are, then I don't think any pandemic is going to stop us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very rightly said, Dr. Sibanegi. If we manage the skills, you will enhance yourself. But if you don't convert those managing skills into opportunities, you may be the bankrupt also. Yes, that is the point, that during this disruption, hunt the opportunities, convert into your plus point, convert your threats into your strength, and go ahead. Now, my second question goes to Ms. Monira Sultana. Do you think education can enhance the sustainability with respect to economic growth, well-being of citizens, and can it ensure the peace and prosperity in the world? What's your inputs, ma'am?
Thank you so much for asking me a great question. This is Monira Sultana. I have joined myself from Dhaka, Bangladesh. And regarding the designation, I am the news director in USA, Mindset News Channel. And I'm the vice president in Bangladesh Human Rights Commission. I'm the director, Navajivan Charitable Trust, president and founder, Global University. Thanks a lot for your question. Regarding the question that, am I thinking regarding education can enhance sustainability with respect to economic growth? Of course, because what education can do, you have seen today, the miraculous way, the way you have presented today's program, and the presenters, our educators, learners, dignified personalities, leaders have joined today. This is just because of education. And economic growth is then possible when we are educated properly. And we have discussed today ethical manner, that ethics is the most powerful weapon that make us strong, that make us bold in terms of inner peace, in terms of future growth. And there are some other questions like well-being of citizens and ensuring peace, prosperity. Well-being is then possible when we are self-educated, self-motivated, and for peace. Establishment of peace is the highest and truest thing what we are looking forward at this challenging period. And prosperity and whatever I gonna say, everything is possible through our education, empowerment, peace, justice, freedom, all is possible just with education. And I'm looking forward to establish all these rights together. Thank you, sir.
Very nicely explained that miracles can happen with the educational aspects, and those aspects can change your way of self-educating yourself, and your self-education can bring peace, prosperity, and well-being, not only within yourself, within your family, within your country, but over the globe. Thank you, Ms. Monira Sultana. My third question goes to Dr. Joel. How you correlate education and its impact on the sustainability of humanity, in particular in the pandemic situation over globe? Let me repeat my question. How you correlate education and its impact on the sustainability of humanity, sustainable humanity, how the education is impacting it, particularly in the pandemic situation over the globe. Over to you, Dr. Joel.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I am Dr. Joel Fontanilla from the Philippines. I am teacher 3 in Benigno B. Aldana National High School, Philippines. Thank you for being part of this grand launch of Global Educators Fraternity and Educational Conclave. The education world was shaken by the COVID-19 pandemic, and its impact would be the paradigm shift of educational approach, which greater challenge to teachers, to parents, students, and the people around the world. I believe that education must not stop for these consequences as we walk in the fast changing and challenging world. In relation to your question, I will be answering that through our experience here in the Philippines. Our country planned to have BELCP, or the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, in this time of pandemic. What is this? This is using modules and SLM based on their MELCs. SLM means for the self-learning modules, and based from their MELCs, which is the most essential learning competencies. Students are not allowed to be in the school. So we should have, the parents are the one who come to school to get the modules in relation with how they learn through the modules. More assessment given for the students, and how would be the communication by using the different technologies and like this platform. Education for all, we have also what we call the ALS, or alternative learning system, wherein all ages are given a chance to finish their education. It could be vocational or informal way. As UNESCO said about educational sustainability, empowers learners of all ages with the knowledge, skills, values, and attitude to address the interconnect global challenges as we are facing right now, such as climate change, environmental degradation, loss of biodiversity, poverty and inequality, and most of all, the COVID-19 pandemic. For the humanity, education provides stability in life, increase the chance to survive in any hindrances or obstacles, to have personal development in any situation. Education plus morals or values will make humanity into diverse understanding why we created or why we are here in this world. Through education, we can change the world to become better. Through education, there is a collaboration, the world, or the collaboration of diversity in learning. And last, through education, we can work together and make it differences. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.
Yeah, very rightly quoted the UNESCO's policies of educating the all ages to bring the change. Nowadays, the sustainable development is enhancing. That is one point. At the same time, the educational development is also happening. So sustainable development in or advancement in educational facilities, and people say, and worldwide, like let me quote the latest research from the Harvard University, that the educational advancement supports the sustainable development over the globe. Now I wanted to ask Miss Erina Biba, how you find out, or what are those yardsticks or the success criteria which ensures that yes, educational advancement supports the sustainable development over the globe? What are those
Thank you,
success
sir.
criteria or yardsticks? Over to Miss Marina Arina Biba.
Thank you, sir, for your questions. So glad to be here. I'm Yarina Biba, master teacher, mentor teacher, and trainer here in Albania. For 25 years, I work in field of education. Now more than ever, us teachers are able to assess the quality of our work and to take steps to improve by creating higher standards of practice. A 21st century education is not a bunch of students sitting quietly at desk, writing down every word that the teacher says, no? Or writes on the blackboard. It's a little more complicated, a whole lot harder to assess. The role of the educators should be helping every student learn how to learn. It's inspiring creativity, encouraging collaboration, expecting and rewarding critical thinking is too important, and teaching students not only to communicate, but also the power of effective communication. These are skills students need to develop in order to thrive in today's and tomorrow's dynamic workplace. We must foster deeper learning through the purposeful integration of rigorous academic content with the experiences that intentionally cultivate the skills, mindsets, and literacies needed for students to become lifelong learners and contributors in our ever-changing world. What is necessary to do that? Preparing students for careers that don't yet exist, technologies we can hardly envision, and problems that have yet to emerge. Impossible? No. Do you think it's challenging? But yes. But meeting the challenge involves a major rethink of education itself. Its purpose involves a major rethink and how we deliver it. Fortunately, this rethink is underway. If I want to speak about critical thinking, more important for students, every student must be able to compare and evaluate facts and opinions and make decisions based on the analysis. We need citizens who know more than about something. We need citizens who can take information and apply it to solve problems and create solutions. We need to create classroom cultures of the value, question more than answers. If you want students to analyze, evaluate, and work with challenging ideas and problems, we need to equip them with skills for categorizing, deconstructing big ideas into components, parts, identifying relationships, asking more questions, etc. Thank you, sir, for your question.
Very, very rightly explained. Learn about how to learn. And for what purpose? To train the students to learners for those careers which are yet to exist. Yes, yet to exist. Teaching for unknown. That is the susceptibility, and that is sustainable development. And it can be possible only by the education. My next question goes to my very dear and senior friend, Dr. Balachandran. Sir, what are your inputs on sustainable development which are enhancing jobs? Do you think the sustainable development ensures the job security? Do you think the sustainable development even enhances the happiness index? What is your input on that? Over to Dr. Balachandran.
Yeah, good evening to all, and a great question to me. I'm Dr. Balachandran, Senior Principal, TKS Public School, Theni, Tamil Nadu. Yeah, sustainability is the most, we talk about education is a tool for sustainability. And just now you talked about your question itself, there is an answer. Without sustainability, we cannot go for a job security, in fact. And we need to go at the right pace. And as when you put the question to Seema Rahi ma'am about disruptive management, that disruptive management definitely is sustainability. When you have a sustainability, you can dethrone any challenges on your way. And you need to have that at the right space at the right time. And we talk about 4 C's in 21st century learning, starting from critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. Now we can add one more called connectivity. Connectivity does stop, it takes the pace now. So what I'm talking about, when you have that sustainable in you and when you accept that all the challenges, definitely are going to have a beautiful future. And as you told that, for any job, which is going to be created in the future too. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very nicely explained the concept of 21st century skill and connectivity. Now let me connect with Dr. Famida Mohammed. Nowadays, ma'am, everyone is talking about life skills, soft skills, and humanity. And during this pandemic, we understand that yes, everything was quarantined except the learning. All the prayer rooms were closed, but prayers were going on. So that soft skill, that life skill, which deals with learning, which deals with prayers, which deals with peace and prosperity. So how does education can ensure the sustainable advancement or sustainable behavioral change with respect to life skill? And can this education make a human more human being? If yes, in what way? Over
Thank you
to
so much.
Miss Famida Mohammed, a
Thank you so
charming
much.
face of today's evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod. Indeed, a very pertinent question. I am Famida Mohammed from Sri Lanka, a corporate trainer, motivational speaker, Toastmaster, and a senior business management professional. Well, coming back to the question, as much as it's important to count, it's paramount to identify and understand what counts in life. The current context of education focuses on instilling theoretical knowledge, detailing on how things work. Whereas the question of, is this enough, has been lingering around for quite some time, thanks to the pandemic, which indeed shed light on what is most needed as opposed to what is being practiced. Education in its original context has arrived at a juncture to witness a transformation that enhances and enriches life, to broaden perspectives. Now, education is just the process. The skills and competencies are the significant addition to elate this said procedure. The what has always been spoken for quite some time. Then how about the other heuristic questions? The why, the how, the when, the who? These are the components of this fundamental ecosystem. In a school, in an educational system, in an environment, what does a child hear every day? Be polite, be quiet, stop talking, no discussions, listen to me. A few commands we are all familiar with, at least I am. Now, let me ask the question, how favorable are these commands for a student to inculcate an explorative, adventurous, skillful, learners and growth mindset? I don't think so. Life skills are much more to the notes that we write. It all begins with the words we hear, the actions we observe, and the outcome we all reap out of it. Now, the important thing is, instead of dashing a command, if an educator is able to follow the approach of the understanding that there are diversified personalities, these students are going to be growing into diversified personalities, and stop negative connotations of comparing and setting benchmark that is rather suited to the educator, instead well suited to this entire team of diversified personalities that the educator himself or herself is explorative to. Now that is where, and that is when
the student identifies the need to fit in. Now, when the same logic is applied to life at large, to a student's life at large especially, and to these future leaders who need to be prepared, nurtured, and trained to navigate the real opportunities of life, let's all begin with a vision. Have we taught a kid what a vision is? Is he supposed to learn what a vision is when he only reaches the company's boardroom meeting to understand, oh, there's something called vision? Let's teach the kid about a vision, where he will start building his own vision board, set the roadmap, mark his challenges, understand how to overcome. He may be not okay. He may come up with childish, but that's the first step towards thinking like a leader, leading his own way, leading the change. Engaging such terms, like are the resources available? What are the resources available? Now, engaging such technical terms into primary education is the very step of awakening the leader within every kid, beginning from gender. So to talk about sustainable development, the importance of male and female, and how both could rather complement rather than competing with each other. Form a team of boys, put a girl to lead. Form a team of girls, put a boy to lead. They will understand the differences of thinking. They would also agree and accept that a girl or a female has the ability to lead men, and a male also is adaptive to lead females. Now, such stereotypes need to be cracked for new thoughts, new perspectives, and new beginnings. If the right seed is planted in the right soil, nurtured under the right environment, we will certainly bear the fruits of the future. These are small steps, but accumulatively, the giant leap of hope and faith of humanity, which will thence prosper and flourish. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod.
Thank you. Very rightly said. Growth mindset, explorative learning process instead of theoretical learning. And that will make you the future fit. Wow. Really, I'm impressed with this statement. To make the learner's future fit, explorative learning process instead of the theoretical learning, and that is the explorative learning only will be sustainable, and that will bring the change. Now the last question goes to my very dear friend from Brazil, Miss Vilma Barbosa. Nowadays, over the world, people are talking about woman empowerment. Ma'am, do you think that this woman empowerment will sustain without woman education? What is your input on that? And yes, if you think that woman education is the only source for the sustainable woman empowerment, then what sort of educational reforms you will suggest to ensure the sustainable woman empowerment? Empowerment is happening, but whether it will sustain, for that women education, but that education should have some reforms. So what do you think about that, and what are those 2-3 reforms according to you? Over to Madam Vilma.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. I'm Vilma Barbosa from Brazil. I've been an English teacher for 16 years, more or less. And I've been trying hard to change people's mind about empowerment and people empowerment, girls empowerment, and anyone. So what is empowerment? What does it mean for a woman to be empowered? According to the United Nations, an empowered woman has a sense of self-worth. She can determine her own choices and has access to opportunities and the resources providing her with an array of options she can pursue. She has control over her own life, both within and outside the home, and she has the ability of influence the direction of social change to create a more just social and economic order. But as women take on the primary responsibility of the unpaid care of children and the elderly, and for unpaid domestic labor, fewer women than men are in paid employment. Women spend fewer hours in paid employment than men. Many women work part-time and then they have to take care of their homes. This negatively affects their income and often their career prospects. Due to the discrepancy in earnings, women accumulate less income than men in their lifetime. Their lower earnings increase their vulnerability to poverty, not only during their working lives, but also in old age, and increase their economic dependence on a male. So, what are some suggestions for the educational reforms to ensure sustainable empowerment for women? I believe that every girl deserves an education, that every girl has a voice, and that those voices drive change. Change starts young, and it starts with training girls as future community leaders, providing media training, resources for girls to share their stories and ideas for a positive change. Share those stories and award education and change maker grants to help make their ideas a reality. Share ideas and prepare to be inspired. But I also believe that we have to change the boys' mind, because in many countries, here in Brazil, we say that girls are free, that they can do everything they want. But we know that in many countries, girls, they have to be married really young, they can't go to school. And then we have to change the boys' mind as well, because they have to believe that girls are important. And if boys think like that, if they are taught to respect their moms, their sisters, and every girls, they will give them the empowerment, and then that will be easy for them, because it doesn't mind if we teach girls how to be empowered if we don't teach boys, because soon in some countries they will be married really soon, and if their husbands don't believe they can be empowered and can be the owner of the house as well, it doesn't make sense that we teach just girls. So we have to teach girls and boys in order we have a better world, and we have to make everyone think that everyone is the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will come back to you on the second round about how boys and girls together, equity or inclusion and all. So let me have a second round that is called cool round. The time limit for this cool round is 50 second to 55 second. The first question goes to Dr. Seema Negi ma'am. You said in your first round, your reply was opportunities can be enhanced in the learning by managing the skills. So my direct cool question is competency based learning or skill based learning?
Amalgamation of both.
Why?
Because to acquire skill, we need to have the competitive fire inside us. So we have to amalgamate. The more we amalgamate, the better prepared we are for the future. That is uncertain.
Yeah, so more the hybridization gives the better outcomes. My second question goes to Monira Sultana. Miracles. She's there?
Yes, here.
Yeah. So miracles can happen in the self-education. Now, self-education. The learner should be independent learner or a lifelong learner. Independent learner or lifelong learner? Miss Monira Sultana.
Monira Sultana, connecting again from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Thanks for great questions. That I, of course, emphasize on the part of lifelong learning, because it starts from the day we born and the day we go, the day we leave this world. So lifelong learning, of course, and this lifelong learning and self-education gives you the freedom, and that is the ultimate independence, what you have told me. That is, lifelong learning will ensure your freedom to be independent, to be innovative, to be really a moral and ethical journey can be ensured through this lifelong education. Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
lifelong education has an upper edge over the independent learner. And next question goes to Dr. Joel. You talk about a lot of techniques of the teaching and learning and the role of a teacher. So teacher as a felicitator or teacher as a scaffolder?
I would say that I would go both, because as a teacher we do have a lot of responsibilities, and to measure
50 seconds, as a felicitator or as a scaffolder, and then why?
All right, so
Cool question.
all right, so I'm just going to choose one.
Yeah, choose one and why.
All right, so I would choose the second one. Because I
Scaffolder.
believe scaffolder, because I believe that a teacher is a change maker in the life of every learners, and through the process of that scaffolding,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
you are very correct and very close to the research done by the Business School of Economics and London, and they said that yes, scaffolding. My next question goes to Miss Irina Biba. According to you, learning about how to learn, understanding about how to understand, all those concepts you have given, but that learning should be open book learning or closed book learning?
Thank you, sir, for the question. I think closed books learning in nowadays, e-book substitute in nowadays the book. The infusion of technology, for example, in Finland, you know that skills of students are in higher order, and they are they pass in e-book.
Yeah, so closed book learning.
Closed book learning for nowadays,
Yeah, but
I think.
but IIT IIM Ahmedabad says open book learning has upper edge over the closed book learning. I'll come to you in the third round to
I have
understand
to choose
in a better
one.
way. Yeah, yeah. The next question goes to Dr. Famida Mohammed. Life skills, soft skills, or hard skills? Which will bring the change? Soft skills
Life
or hard
skills.
skills?
Okay, so soft skills, I would say.
Why? Within 20 seconds?
Well, it is up to your attitude, your personality, as Mr. Luis Cadarso just presented. It's up to your personality and your attitude to navigate through problems. Challenges and barricades are always there. And when you carry the right kind of attitude, you're able to navigate any challenge and any storm.
Great, great, great. To navigate any challenge, you should have a soft skill. Great. Miss Vilma Barbosa, you're talking about boys and girls teaching, learning, all those things. So you want the inclusive system for the women's or the equity for the women's?
Yes, I believe that girls have to be empowered, but we also have to work with boys and girls, men and women at the same time. Because if we just teach girls that they are able to do everything they want, but
So
what
in that
about changing
same time, inclusiveness or equalityness? Equality or inclusiveness?
Wow, equality?
Yeah, both.
Yes.
Great. Now, first question goes to the third round, that is a rapid fire round.
Mahajan sir,
Yeah.
we have exceeded the time frame and we have to maintain that. So we would request to.
Yes. We are on the right time.
So
Right time within.
third round we cannot take it now. Once we are done, so third round we will be taking at that time. So you can just conclude the session.
Okay. Now, third round, we will take in a conclusive manner. I don't want to conclude. I want the conclusive remarks from you all, the panelists. Yes, Dr. Seema Negi ma'am, what do you think? The sustainable development will be by adaptive learning or progressive learning?
Sir, I think right now Ms. Rashna is trying to tell us sustainable learning is as per maintaining the time. So maintain the time, and she has just told that we can do away with this third round later. So
Adaptive learning or progressive learning? Adaptive learning or progressive learning? Conclusive remark.
Adapt the progressive learning and go ahead.
Thank you. Next question goes to Irna Biba. Experiential learning or mastery learning?
Experiential learning.
Experiential learning. Yes, Famida Mohammed, students engagement or students attainment?
Students' engagement.
Students engagement. Higher learning outcomes or higher progressive outcomes? Dr. Joel.
Higher learning outcomes.
Higher learning outcome. Data driven or data dominated? Miss Monira.
Data driven.
Data driven. And the last, Vilma Barbosa, exploring technology or learning technology?
Learning technology.
Learning technology. So these are some aspects which are the concluding remarks for today's panel discussion, that these concepts will take the sustainable development, and that is possible only and only by education. This is Pramod Mahajan signing off from the panel discussion. Thank you, Shabba Khair and Mubarak.
Thank you so
Over
much.
to Dr. Rachna.
Myself, I would take it over. Thank you so much, Pramod Mahajan sir, and all the panelists for such a power-packed session. The discussion was so apt, captivating, and above all, extremely informative. I once again extend my gratitude to the moderator and all the panelists for putting up such an illuminating session in front of all of us. Moving ahead, let's hear it out from an eloquent speaker, Professor Ruben Garcia sir. He is an educator and English language teacher with 32 years of experience. Outstanding teacher trainer accredited by Cambridge English Language Assessment. CEO at Speak Up Assertive Leadership, which is a consulting company for professional and personal growth. President at the International Chamber of Language. Country Director of the International Internship University. Honorary International Advisory Board, and the list seems to be infinite. We welcome you, sir. The platform is all yours.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Greetings from Lima, Peru. Ethics is a very strong word that is related to the rules of conduct, morality, morals, moral code, decency, integrity, moral conduct, social values, moral practice, principles, values, standards, code of right and wrong, natural law, honesty, goodness, social laws. And this applied to education, in my personal point of view, has to deal with emotional intelligence. Because you need to understand yourself. Self-awareness. It's very important how to act. And we as educators, we need to deal with emotions. Our students need us to be part of them. So we need to go hand in hand with their learning process. We need to be careful how to address our students in order to give them some instructions. I have heard very interesting points of view and the soft skills as well, because it deals with integrity of people. So, and also hard skills. The hard skills is the knowledge. So both of them going in good balance are going to make not only good professionals, but good people. We, in this case, need to concentrate on the way we communicate, assertive communication. We need to teach our students to think about what they are going to say, to say what they think. They have to mind every single word that they are going to say, because you know that the word is powerful. And we need to motivate our students. Ethics, then, if we are talking about conduct, how our students behave, if we start our classes just saying hello, good morning, students, it's going to be a very common way to say, hello, I am here, I am your professor, I am your teacher. But how about asking them how they feel? Because everyone has the right not to feel great in the moment that the class starts. We need to deal with emotions every single moment. And through motivation, we can get most of the things. We can enhance the interests of students. But how? Maya said once that what we tell our students, they forget. What they tell them what to do, they can forget. But what we make them feel, they won't forget. And they can remember, not us as professors, but the class itself. This is a very important moment in education. Now, in these circumstances that we are suffering a lockdown, emotions are very high valued, because there is one word that came out and that was used in every single moment, in every single convention, that is resilience. So through ethics in education, we are going to work hard in getting involved every single person that we are involved with. And as educators, we need a big change, but the change in global education depends on us. And if we involve our students, both students, educators, are going to make that big change that we deserve in order to be applying the ethics in a very moral way. Thank you very much. Greetings from Lima, Peru.
Thank you, sir, for such gracious words and intellect thoughts. I am pleased to take this opportunity to welcome our next speaker, Prem Kumar Sir from Kuwait. Sir has a career spanning over 35 years in the teaching profession. Started at an Indian school, Muscat. He is recipient of a Best Teacher Award from CBSE in 2017. He has also received a certificate of commendation from Simon's College, Boston, USA. In addition to excellence in academics, he has excelled in sports and games. Served as a resource person for over 15 Indian schools in Oman. He has also trained a lot of chemistry teachers. That's magnificent. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed and very distinguished educators. After witnessing a power-packed panel discussion led by my friend Pramod Mahajan, I thought it's time that we delve into a little bit of ethical issues in education today. At the outset, let me thank Rachna and team for inviting me for this session today. Thank you. In my mind, now students are the God and teachers are the priests within the temple, which is our school. So it is crystal clear that both are made for each other within the system. Without one other, will be valueless. So before highlighting the relationship, I want to highlight the concrete presence of teacher within the system. A school without a teacher for me is just like a body without the soul, a skeleton without flesh, and blood, a shadow without a substance. The ethical dimensions of education are considered to be very important in our education system today and are present in several legislative documents, both with regard to the education of peoples and to teacher education across the globe. And it is regarded as very important for professional performance. I'm sure all of you will agree with me. Take, for instance, the Education Act, where the ethical issues associated with social, spiritual, moral, and civic values are implicit as both organizational principles and as well as the objects of elementary and secondary education in the country. Also, as far as a teacher education is concerned, in the National Council of Teacher Education, that is NCTE, and the NCERT, National Council of Education Research and Training, which approves the legal regime of professional skills for teaching at preschools, elementary and secondary levels as well. So therefore, the teacher education is of paramount importance today in the country. There was a time when the education of India was seen in such a high esteem that students from all corners of the globe used to throng for education. You know the universities, Takshashila and Nalanda. I'm sure all of you must have heard about it. With the gradual invasion of the foreigners to India, it started to see various changes in social, political, religious, and cultural spectrum. And the changed model of education, especially of Macaulay education, had changed the basics. So the Anglicized form of education had apparently some advantage, but completely lacked on ethical front. Just give me a minute to put my charger on this. Just a minute. Sorry for that. What today we see ethical issues is perhaps the side effect of some new education model that is implemented in the modern India. The school education system in India has three main constituents. They are the students, teachers, and the parents. Now, without any one of these, the education system in India would definitely fail. Why in India? Anywhere in the world. The values stand for rules that are set by individuals to take personal decision in judging what is right or what is wrong. Values tend to direct our individuals to choose the most important and leave less important matters. Now, the morals are the thick and broader sets of rules which helps individuals to judge other as good or bad, which we call instinct in general. Ethics are predefined sets of rules that define a particular group of people like medical or journalism, etc. More specifically, ethics are self-imposed rather it judges or impose on others, I believe. So while assessing the position of each constituent of school education with regard to their readiness to face ethical challenges, we find that teachers are the most vulnerable to face the tough challenges. Teachers are expected to uphold high values and embrace ethics of teaching, but they face most dilemmas, like whether to help students beyond classroom, or if yes, then to what extent. In case teacher is more cooperative and dedicated, which we find very less these days, and open to teach the students beyond the class hours, then repeated requests for same query make him think again. So second dilemma is teacher-student relationship as friendly or formal, like the Guru-Shishya system that we had in our country, in the ancient India. Even become too friendly may create problem in broader perspective in today's schools. So the teacher-student relationship is widening in many schools today. Now, one of the other aspects which I would like to speak is, yes, I will definitely end my speech with this very important aspect. The major cause of ethical deterioration in education system is rapidly spreading corruption. There was a time when corruption was only in government school offices or private institutions, police stations, etc. But now corruption has spread its roots into education system as well. Corruption in the education sector can be defined as the systematic use of public office for private benefit, whose impact is very significant on availability and quality of education goods and services. Corruption in education include bribes and illegal fees that are charged by the school management and the examination bodies, fraud, withholding the teachers' certificates, salaries, preferential promotions to a few. All these things have caused a lot of ethical issues in today's education system, I believe. Since time is running out, I would like to cut short my talk and leave these educators to think on these points. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such a stimulating speech. I am now honored to introduce our next speaker, Professor Beatriz Lucia from Brazil, a highly qualified persona. She is a tutor teacher having 3 international research projects. She possesses skills of entrepreneurship, national and international journal reviewer, international book co-author, conference speaker and online conference organizer. She is also the coordinator of Global Edu Leaders in Brazil and the member of FAI India. That's fabulous. We welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank for your kind words, Miss Vaibahavi. Is it right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you. I would like to talk a little bit about the ethics in practicing within the context of the classroom. Okay. The intention is that the teacher can, through different careers, address the topic in questions in order to promote discussions that lead the students to rethink their daily attitudes and thus reverse their attitude towards the other or a certain situation. However, this does not mean that the educator has to unfold and create a new proposal every hour to achieve their goals. Some attitudes are essential, like respect the existing diversity in the classroom, like motivate learning, innovate, so that classes are always creative. Treat students ethically without privileging or labeling anybody. Set the example to be followed. Have an ethical posture when talking to students. This is very important. Have an ethical posture when talking to students and establish rules and agreements together with the students, charging them whenever they do not comply with them. knowing how to be firm, but trying to show the reason and not simply impose something. This is very important. Together with students, try to be fair in a situation. Encourage so that everything that was promised is fulfilled. It's important as well to promote a dialogue as a way to reach a harmonious consensus among all. Encourage students to talk and come to a conclusion about an impasse, for example. Working ethics in the classroom presupposes that through literacy, the subject is approached in interdisciplinary way, aiming to guarantee respect for differences and combating prejudice and discrimination, whether racial, social, religious, moral, intellectual, among the others. The student must be guided about the need to respect others and differences by providing opportunities for them to realize the need for ethics for a satisfying life in society. Make the student evaluate and rethink their daily actions, propose changes in preconceived attitudes, in addition to encourage the literacy. The school is a favorable environment for the exercise and learning of ethics. Through it, teachers, students, and employees can obtain positive results in the educational process, improving the work and learning environment. If everyone acts ethically at school, everyone will win. Young people learn more from examples than from words, right? The teacher who acts ethically with students, teachers and school staff provide students with an important role model of ethical behavior. And finally, teach students what ethics is and its importance at different levels, such as work, environment, family, school, and a group of friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your speech was marvelous. Your thoughts are truly elating. It's almost the time for the curtain close. But how is it possible without some entertainment, appreciation, and acknowledgement? So do stay tuned for a little while and let's watch the master musician Marcelo Fernandez, student of Panama International School, to present to us a rocking music performance. Mind blowing, what energy. Glad to witness this great performance. Thank you, Master Marcelo, for making this event even grand. Dear viewers, we would request you all to kindly fill up the feedback form to grow us better to prosper each day. On behalf of the core members of GEF, it is my pleasure to present the Certificate of Appreciation to our very own highly esteemed speakers. Kindly accept this token of gratitude and appreciation for your valuable time and presence. To begin with, We would first like to congratulate Dr. Pramod Mahajan sir, Dr. Kulbhushan sir, Professor Ruben Garcia sir, Prem Kumar sir from Kuwait, Professor Dr. Beatrice, Miss Edna Fernandez, Professor Dr. Louis, Miss Monira Sultana, Dr. Seema Negi, Miss Irina Biba, Dr. H.C. Famida Mohammed, Dr. Joel, Dr. Balachandra sir, Miss Wilma Dayus, Miss Nirmal Mana, congratulations once again to all the speakers.
Congratulations once again to all the speakers and to everyone present here. It was a wonderful session. As all good things come to an end, is a saying that comes from the belief that all good things eventually come to an end. And so does this event. I would like to formally call upon Ms. Nirmal Magna ma'am, the co-member of GEF, principal of DPS, National President, North Global Edu Leaders Forum, President of Jammu Sahodaya, along with enormous colleagues and experience. I request you, madam, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Sorry for pronouncing your surname incorrect. It's Nirmal ma'am.
Mahana. It's Mahana.
Extremely sorry.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to one and all. I, Mrs. Nirmal Mahana, Principal DPS Kathua and a core member of GEF, is here to propose vote of thanks on behalf of the entire team of GEF. First of all, our heartfelt gratitude and thanks and sincere thanks to Dr. Abdullah Rashid, Minister of State for Education at National Institute of Education, Republic of Maldives. On accepting our invitation as chief guest of the day, we are grateful, sir, that you spared your valuable time and you graced this occasion today. Thanks to all the keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Lucia Cardozo from Portugal, Dr. Kulbhushan Sharma from India, Ms. Edna Fernandez from Qatar, Mr. Prem Kumar from Kuwait, Dr. Lucia, dear friend from Brazil, Professor Ruben Gracia from Peru. We are grateful for your valuable time. Today's the session, which was moderated by Mr. Dr. Pramod Mahajan. We are so grateful and thankful for all the panelists. I'll start from the moderator, Dr. Pramod Mahajan. Sir, thank you so much for your wonderful thought process, and all the panelists, Dr. Balachandran from India, Seema Negi, ma'am from India, Dr. Famida from Sri Lanka, Ms. Vilma Barbosa from Brazil, Ms. Irina Biba from Albania, Monira Sultana from Bangladesh, Dr. Joel from Philippines. My sincere gratitude to all the organizing members of the committee. My sincere gratitude to Amit Kumar sir, Bhatia sir, Kuldeep sir, under whose able guidance this project is executed. And all the distinguished guests, along with the dear friends on various social media platforms witnessing this event. Special thanks to Pratibha ma'am and her excellent team, having Rashmi, Vaibhavi, Ganesh sir, for organizing this entire episode of formal launch of GEF. Guys, you were rocking and you were really, really excellent. Then thanks to Creative Head of Fun to Learn for all the creatives, Mr. Aditya Bisaria, Ms. Saria for organizing the meet on Zoom platform, Mr. Ratish Gupta for videography, and above all, the Iron Lady of GEF for her incredible thought process. Yes, it's Ms. Rachna Bhimkaraja. And ladies and gentlemen, the journey has just begun. And after that, no looking back. Join this beautiful organization and please contribute in the field of education to make this global as a one family, one member, and work for the cause of the children, for their growth, for their upliftment. Thank you so much. Shabba khair. Good night.
So one big round of applause for everyone. Unmute yourself. One big round of applause for entire family. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
The journey has just begun.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tonight's event seems to be a long-lasting impact on all of us. Perhaps you've enjoyed all the speech, interactive discussion, performances, and it's time for the curtain to close, and hope to see you all soon again at GEF.
Well done, all of you. Great going.
Thank you
so much. Thank you. Thank you all of you. Thanks, Rachna.
Thank you.
बहुत धन्यवाद मैडम साहब.
Thank you the entire team. Excellent work you all have done.
बहुत ही शानदार रहा सेशन.